Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a huge day for crypto. There's a big meeting that's happening at the White House. There's also some additional news that you do not want to miss. And I want to get things started off with talking about what's happening in the stock market though. So over in the Asian stock markets, they just erased nearly $900 billion in a single day. So again, I want to stress this. In dollars, it's nearly 1 trillion from the Asian stock market. The sell-off is spreading across almost every major Asian market. In South Korea, you're talking about 280 trillion won wiped out. Shanghai, 1.25 trillion. Shenzhen, 1.65 trillion. Japan, 25 trillion. Taiwan, 2.2 trillion. And India, 1.65 trillion. Again, you combine all these values together, it's about 900 billion US dollars. And when you take a look at the market with China, I mean, I'm looking at this and there's obviously no green at all, but I almost feel like I'm staring at an amphitheater or something. And Korean exchange, they halted a program selling for 5 minutes after Kospi crashed down 6.5% in just 10 minutes. So you're talking about $220 billion wiped out. Absolutely insane. Japan is cornered. They have about 3 moves left. This is from Nick. They can hike rates, carry trade unwinds, and pension funds get torched. Sell treasuries to buy yen. The U.S. bond market gets torched. Or number 3, lean on the Fed swap facility, a dollar printer, U.S. inflation picks up. Not really seeing any good options here. And the United States 30-year bond yield just hit 5.334%, the highest in 19 years. The last time it was this high was 2007, the year before the global financial crisis started, and the NASDAQ crashed 56% within the next 2 years. And for today, Eisenhower Executive Office Building. We're talking 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the White House Crypto Summit. Brad Garlinghouse would join President Trump, SEC Chair Paul Atkins, and CFTC Chair Mike Selig, alongside Coinbase, Kalshi, and A16Z as the CFTC's Innovation Advisory Committee kicks off. Ripple representing XRP in the room with the president. So here's some more details. President Trump is meeting crypto's top executives this afternoon. And this is, again, with SEC Chair Paul Atkins, Michael Selig, Brad Garlinghouse. This is not a photo op. It's the kickoff for the CFTC's new Innovation Advisory Committee, which holds its first meeting tomorrow. Garlinghouse is one of its 35 members, seated next to NASDAQ, CME, CBOE, and DTCC. And for the agenda, digital asset regulation, tokenization, and market structure. And with the timing, the Clarity Act is stalled in the Senate, with the cloture vote set for September 15th. 5 years ago, the U.S. government was suing Ripple. Today, the same government invites its CEO to help write the rules, one day before the agency that would oversee XRP as a commodity convenes its advisory board. The lawsuit era is over. The rulemaking era started this morning. And some additional notes on this. So first off, Garlinghouse rejected the claim that crypto... this is actually more in line with what happened with the Wyoming Blockchain Symposium. My apologies. So the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, spoke out, and some of the key things that he said. Garlinghouse rejected the claim that crypto is anti-regulation, noting that Ripple holds 75 licenses worldwide. He also cited the federal court conclusion that XRP in and of itself is not a security. Garlinghouse said Ripple has long positioned itself as a bridge between traditional and decentralized finance. A strategy once criticized by crypto purists is now increasingly recognized as a strong position in a regulated financial world. Garlinghouse said Ripple is heading for a record year and expects to more than double revenue year over year despite the broader crypto bear market. He said institutional infrastructure is where the industry's momentum is moving. Garlinghouse said Ripple completed $2.5 billion in acquisitions last year and $3 billion in shareholder tender offers over the past 2 years. He expects larger acquisitions and further industry consolidation during the crypto winter. Garlinghouse said Hidden Road cleared $3 trillion in transactions last year, while G Treasury touched 13 trillion. Ripple acquired both as it expands its institutional prime brokerage and treasury infrastructure. Garlinghouse said Ripple's acquired platforms collectively touch approximately $16 trillion in transactions, comparable in scale to Visa. Moving part of that activity on-chain could improve speed, cost, and certainty. Garlinghouse said Ripple has seen a significant shift over the past 6 months, with CFOs and corporate treasurers now approaching the company about adopting its technology. Garlinghouse challenged the claim that AI itself is responsible for major corporate layoffs, arguing that organizational bloat is often the underlying issue. He said AI helps growing businesses operate better, faster, and more effectively. Garlinghouse said agentic payments have potential, but corporate access and human accountability require substantial guardrails. And his assessment, market excitement is currently ahead of operational reality. And some additional news. Solana is trading on the XRP ledger. So just sit with that for a second. Solana, the flagship asset of a rival chain, now settles on the XRPL's native DEX. Wrapped by XLR, paired directly against XRP, nobody's processed what this actually signals. The XRPL DEX is 14 years old. No smart contract, no hacks built into the protocol. XLR links it to over 80 chains, and their assets can all land the same way. Every token that arrives trades against XRP as the pair. Chains used to fight each other for liquidity. Now their tokens migrate to the venue with 3 to 5 second settlement and fees too small to notice. The XRP ledger is not competing with other chains, it's becoming the place they trade. And XRP just hit its lowest weekly close again in nearly 2 years. Is XRP finally forming a bottom? I sure hope so, because looking at this image right here, if it was to continue further dropping down, it would essentially fall back into that same line it was at before, around 60 cents. So not an ideal situation there. Wall Street just lent Ripple $275 million. Ripple Prime closed a $275 million senior notes offering yesterday. In plain English, that means senior notes equals corporate bonds, the tool blue chip companies use to borrow. Unsecured equals lenders demanded no collateral, pure balance sheet trust. Upsized equals demand was so strong, Ripple raised more than planned. Rated BBB, investment grade by KBRA. The rating pension funds and insurers are allowed to buy. Placed by Piper Sandler, a 130-year-old Wall Street bank. Why this is bigger than it looks. Crypto companies raise money by selling tokens or equity. Almost none can borrow from institutions at investment grade. That door only opens for rated, regulated financial firms. Institutional lenders just underwrote Ripple's Prime's brokerage like they'd underwrite a bank. The proceeds, scaling Ripple Prime's U.S. business, clearing financing, and prime brokerage for institutions. They're not betting on Ripple anymore, they're lending to it. And from CoinDesk, Visa is searching for a new stablecoin settlement partner after MasterCard acquired BVNK, requiring licenses across the US, Canada, US, and Singapore. And Vincent Van Code responded to this by saying that Visa and many others realizing they need custody, liquidity, treasury, compliance, security, and they just realized to do then globally will be a monumental effort. Luckily, Ripple, powered by XRPL, is all of those things. Use small bait, catch small fish. Ripple is catching the big fish. XRP derivatives are heating up fast. XRP open interest on Binance has climbed to about $461.3 million, according to CryptoQuant analyst Arab Chain report on August 18th. That is up from roughly $360 million in early August. The figure is now at its highest level in 2 months. XRP is trading near $1 as traders increase their derivatives exposure. The direction of these positions remains unclear, with longs and shorts both possible. And in case you missed it, the SEC new regulation crypto assets, formally recognizing token issuance and security status. This is a huge win for the crypto market. It is not good for Bitcoin, as Bitcoin was never in the SEC crosshairs, but for XRP, this is massive. While big institutions who operate under stricter compliance and risk policies will still wait for Clarity Act, many others will jump in. I still expect that this puts extreme pressure on Clarity Act to get signed, as Democrats are now dealing with an SEC and CFTC that is purely Republican-led. If you can't beat them, join them. It's going to happen. It's coming from Vincent Van Code. And just quickly looking at the XRP price, yes, we are still sitting at around the $1 range. Volume yesterday was just a little bit less than what we saw on Monday. It's very, very low, guys. Very low volume activity. Waiting to see how things play out. Everyone's just kind of letting this become a stable coin right now. And zooming out more, the Bollinger Band still a bit wide, just kind of forming itself a standard pattern here. So even though it's a bit wide, you just see how low all the volume is. I think it's pretty easy that this is going to expand out if it decides to make a significant move. So keep an eye on $1, of course, 97 cents, and about 86.5 cents. On the flip side, 103.5, 110, and 113.5. That's what I got for you guys in today's video. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. God bless. Peace.